Okay, so I told you guys that we left off in the middle of a chapter. Hopefully we can get through a couple today without time running out, but we left off with them kind of scrambling because we are missing Adam, we are missing Lizzie, our main characters in this play, and so they're trying to decide, are we still going to be doing the play? Should we just tell the office that we need a teacher? And we are in the perspective of Eric right now, I believe, as he's listening to everyone panicking about the play. Yep, this is all Eric. I slink in my seat. If I dropped a staple, the class would hear it. That's how quiet we were. No one volunteers. No one can memorize the part in time anyway. I peek at Kyle. He's holding an eraser, and from the angry glare on his face and the way he wiggles the pink rubber in his hands, I think he wants to chuck it at someone. He frowns with a look of such disappointment that I feel sorry for the big goof. Although really, now that I know him better, Kyle's not much of a goof at all. If only someone had Adam's part memorized. But someone does. I clear my throat. I unslink. I grab my desk so hard my knuckles turn white. Wait a second, I say. I gulp. I want to disappear, but instead I say, I helped write the part, right? So I know it. I can do it. I want to capture those words and stick them back into my mouth. But it's too late now. You can't swallow words after they blurt out. Once words are out into the world, they are out there forever, whether you speak them, text them, or declare your freedom from the British government. Maggie smiles. Jasmine claps me on the back. Kyle shouts, "All right, Eric!" I walk to the front of the class and everyone cheers. My legs shake. I regret volunteering, despite the ovation. "Well done," says Mr. Walcott, as I join him and the rest of the actors. "How far that little candle throws his beams." Part of me wants to run away screaming, but a bigger part of me wants to stay right where I am. I'm excited and petrified at the same time. "What's wrong?" asks Maggie. She must notice the look of fright and doubt that is probably spread across my face. I bite my lip. It's just that I don't like speaking in front of people. I feel embarrassed saying it. "What are you talking about?" she says, as if she's shocked by my answer. "You always speak up." I shake my head. Maybe she's got me confused with Brian or Kyle, although we look nothing alike. They're twice as big as me. No, they're 3 times as big as me. "Of course you do," Maggie insists. "How many times have you saved us when a teacher has asked us where Miss Bryce is? Who suggested we share lunches on our very first day after Miss Bryce quit? Who suggested we assign a lookout? Whose writing has helped save our play?" I said all that? I did all that? "And it was your idea to ask Mr. Walcott to direct the play, not mine," adds Samantha, who I didn't notice was behind me. I blink. I look at Samantha, and then at Maggie. I've shared a lot with the class, even though I didn't think that I did. I think about how I've always felt like a quiet, dull plant. But maybe it's better to be blooming and to be a colorful flower, even at the risk of being plucked. Maybe that's the sort of point of being a flower. "Are you ready to rehearse?" asks Mr. Walcott. I nod. "Yeah, but one more thing first." I look at Maggie, and I take a deep breath. "I think we need to write a letter, all of us, together." Maggie nods. "Actually, I think we need to write 2 letters." The door opens. My heart skips a beat, fearing its principal climb. Our secret will be leaked hours before we planned. But it is just Lizzie. "I'm better now," she says, her hand covering her mouth, and then she puffs out her cheeks. "No, I'm not," and runs back out the door and into the hallway. Chapter 38, Maggie. I knew we were performing a play in front of people. Obviously. We didn't write, rehearse, build props, and prepare amid a million panic attacks to perform in front of a crowd of mice. But still, there is a huge, vast difference between thinking of a crowd and actually seeing one waiting for you. I peek through the curtains. The auditorium is full, standing room only. I am not in the play, thankfully. There would be absolutely no way I could perform in front of this many people. Eric looks petrified. But hey, he volunteered for it. Quite a turnout, says Lacey, smiling. I nod. My knees shake just looking at the throngs of parents and people waiting out for the performance. Every 5th grade parent in the school must be here, plus brothers, sisters, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and who knows who else. They are here to see our play, which starts in 6 minutes. Gulp. This is so exciting, says Lacey, standing beside me. Oh, and Paige and I created a couple of new worksheets. I know we didn't have to with winter break starting and everything else, but we just wanted to try. It was fun, but hard. I don't know how you did it all by yourself. I nod, grateful for her comment. It wasn't as easy as I thought it'd be, I admitted. Well, I'm glad I'm a kid and not a teacher, says Lacey. I nod. Yeah, me too. I continue to stare through the curtain. So many people are here just to see my play, to watch my directing. But to be honest, even though the programs, Jasmine designed them and they're lovely, list me as the director, that's not totally correct. Mr. Walcott deserves the credit. His direction saved the day, but he refused to be listed in the program. He said, "Reputation is an idle and most false imposition, oft got with merit and oft lost without deserving." As usual, I have no idea what he meant. In the end, my contributions mostly consisted of getting out of the way and allowing Mr. Walcott to take charge. I have to admit that I've learned a lot from this entire experience. Funny, isn't it? I planned to do the teaching, and here I am doing the learning. I think I might have learned more from not having a teacher than I did having one. I'm not talking about learning math and reading and academics, obviously, but I've learned how to be a better leader for sure. I learned that being a great leader means trusting others. People can surprise you when you let them do stuff, like Kyle writing a play and Samantha finding Mr. Walcott to help us and Quiet Eric finding his voice. There are lessons that are far more important to learn than math. Well, maybe not far more important. Math is vital to a solid education, but I'm already a whiz at math. As I stand in the theater wing scanning the audience, I pat my pocket, which has one of the letters our class wrote. We'll share it after the play is performed. I mailed the other right after school ended, as we planned. It should arrive at its address tomorrow. Behind me, the actors get ready. Giovanna and Samantha push the final props into place. Mr. Walcott takes the entire cast through some vocal warm-ups. I thought a thought, but the thought I thought was not the thought I thought, the group chants together. These exercises are supposed to loosen the lips and help actors speak better on stage. The free thugs set 3 thugs free. Say it, commands Mr. Walcott. Enunciate. Tonight is the time you are supposed to shine. Remember, be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Yeah, that's what I always say, says Cooper. We all look at him perplexed. He shrugs. I mean, that's what I would say if I had any idea what it meant. I inhale deeply, soaking in the excitement of being backstage, the buzz from the crowd, and the smell of vomit wafting through. Barf? Upchuck? Ralph? Wait, the smell of what? That's when I hear the unmistakable and entirely disagreeable sound of someone getting sick. I think it must be nerves. It's an extremely unpleasant reaction to the excitement of performing, but not an entirely uncommon one. Many actors and athletes get sick before big performances or games, or so I've read. It's Lizzie who is sick, but she doesn't look sick with nerves. She just looks sick. She's been groaning all day, and I assumed it would just pass. She kept insisting she was fine, even while she ran to and from the bathroom. But she's not fine at all. Lizzie is clutching her stomach and leaning over. Mr. Walcott presses his hand against her forehead, and when he looks up, he appears as ill as Lizzie. She's as sick as a dog. The show must go on. Our Martha Washington cannot. But she has the second biggest part in the entire musical. We need her. First, Adam and Jade can't perform, and now Lizzie? We're dropping like swatted flies. Meanwhile, the crowd beyond the curtain waits for us. We're supposed to perform in 4.5 minutes. We're doomed. I look at Mr. Walcott. He was a famous theater director. This sort of thing probably happens all the time. He must have some ready-made solution, some tried and true formula all great theater directors will rely on to save the day when actors get sick. A plan, a scheme. What do we do? Asks Kyle. Mr. Walcott scratches his head. He doesn't look like he has a plan. But then he opens his mouth. He will recite a quote that none of us will understand, but will turn gray clouds into blue skies. Do we have an understudy? Someone else who has learned the part? I don't think so, says Kyle. Mr. Walcott coughs. Well, then I have no idea, sorry. I scream. I can't help it. I stand there and I let loose a high, ear-splitting yowl. My doom is complete. When I finish my wail of anguish, everyone looks at me. My legs quiver. I feel like everyone is waiting for me to solve our problem. That I should do something. I'm the class leader. I take a deep breath. I open my mouth. I remember what I've learned about teamwork and asking for help. Trevor stands next to me, and I think that he's about to roll his eyes regardless of what I say. He'll probably say I'm bossy. I look at him. What do you think we should do, Trevor? I ask. He steps back. I guess he wasn't expecting me to say that. Me? He asks. I nod and hope that maybe he does have a solution. Trevor shrugs. How should I know? You're the one in charge. I look around at the rest of my classmates. I realize that if we fail, I could still go to Harvard. Of course I could. I've got a whole lot of years left to impress them, and I'm only a kid right now. But still, I wanted our class to shine tonight. We all worked so hard. Can't we just skip her parts? Asks Jasmine. I don't see how, says Kyle. She's in a lot of scenes. And I won't know when to say my lines, complains Cooper. Me either, says Gavin, although he only has one line and he still can't remember it anyway. We all formed a circle of doom, I suppose, when Samantha steps into the middle. She clears her throat. Her daddy can't buy us out of this one, although I wish that he could. I'll do it, she says. I know the part. I've read the script about 1,000,000 times, and I have the entire thing memorized, even the new parts. She does? She will? My mouth is open in shock, and when I scan the rest of us in our circle, all of their mouths are open in shock too. Samantha is the last person I would have expected to volunteer. I guess I'm still learning lessons about trusting people. I used to think all of my classmates were blockheads, but that's not true at all. If anything, I'm the blockhead for thinking that. Well then, let's get you dressed, declares Mr. Walcott. Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this son of York. Sure, I guess, I say confused. Can we skip the romantic parts? Samantha asks Eric. Eric looks relieved. Yes, please. I remove the wig from Lizzie's head and lower it onto Samantha's while Mr. Walcott ties the Martha Washington frock around her waist. Good luck, I tell her. Never good luck, Mr. Walcott declares. In the theater, we say break a leg. I don't want her to break a leg, I insist. It's meant to be ironic, says Eric. Fine. Break a leg, I say with a shrug as the curtains part and the actors hurry into their places. All right, so tomorrow we are going to be hearing from Eric. That might be it because he has quite a long chapter. And we only have a couple chapters left. I think we have 4 chapters left. So we'll be done this week. All right, bye guys.